All right, at this time, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the President and Board of Trustees in the Village of Tinley Park meeting to order here in Tinley Park, Cook and Will Counties, being held on Tuesday, May 21st, 2024, beginning at 6:33 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Present?
Trustee Mahoney?
Present.
Trustee Mueller?
Here.
Trustee Shaw?
Present.
Trustee Sullivan? Here. And President Glatz is absent.
Very good. We do have a quorum. Item number 1, consider approval of the agenda. Is there such a motion?
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Sullivan. Thank you, Trustee Brady. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 1. Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion carries. Item number 2, consider approval of the minutes of the regular village board meeting held on May 7th, 2024. Is there such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Trustee Miller. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Mahoney. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on item number 2.
Roll call for item 2. Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion carries. Item number 3, Clerk O'Connor.
Consider recognizing the Kirby School District 140 Special Olympics track and field team's gold medal winners in the spring games in Region E.
Do we need a motion? I'll make it.
Yes, if you will.
Thank you.
I'll second.
The Kirby School District 140 Special Olympics track and field team won gold in their division for the Special Olympics Spring Games in Region E. Athletes who were awarded a gold medal at these games advanced to the Summer Games at Illinois State University in early June, where they will compete with other athletes in the state of Illinois. Congratulations to the Special Olympics team. We'd like to invite Ashley Krisick up to the microphone to say a few words. And we have some certificates for the athletes as well.
Hi, this is my first time at a board meeting. That's not a school board meeting, so I apologize if I'm a little bit awkward up here. But we just want to take this time to recognize our amazing athletes. I'm going to get emotional for all their hard work and all their dedications and their families and the coaches that are also here. I didn't expect to cry. I don't know I'm crying. So thank you, board, for recognizing these amazing athletes and their families.
Thank you.
No, get the act.
My daughter. Sure. Okay. Samir, come on up, bud. Come on up. Gabe, come on up. Gabe, you can stand next to Samir, okay? Sorry. Jeremiah, who couldn't make it today. Kristen, who also couldn't make it today. Sorry. Benjamin. Aaron Deturi. Edie, who could not Yolich, come on. If you want to hold it. Okay. And this is- Can you get it? Oh, Melanie's not here today.
Timmy O'Connell.
More. One second. Thank you. So stand there. You want to stand next to Aaron?
Hello. Khalil. Hater. And
Everyone smile, look at your family.
You guys look good. Parents, if you want to take photos, please feel free.
Take photos. Great.
Come here, stay here. Over here. Jackie, smile. Everybody look forward. There you go. Good job, you guys. Coaches, volunteers.
Oh, wait.
And they're off.
We're gonna take a picture with our coaches.
Come on up here, coaches.
Like Mrs. Doyle, and Miss Jenny. And Coach Jackie. Come up front. Sorry, Dylan. So stand right here, Miss Jenny, okay?
Mayor Pro Tem go up.
We will see you all back here in June.
Don't start. I didn't start. That's right. It was you.
Very good. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item number 3?
Roll call for item 3, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion will carry. Item number 4. I'd like to consider proclaiming May 2024 as Motorcycle Awareness Month in the village of Tinley Park. And I will read the proclamation here.
Yeah, right. Dennis read it.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah, Dennis, would you like to read it?
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, here, please.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, wait, Dennis, let's get a second real quick.
Who made the motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Sullivan.
Thank you.
Sorry, Ken.
All right.
Raise your hand. I just caught it.
I'll walk on it. Whereas safety is the highest priority for the highways and streets of our village and state, and whereas the great state of Illinois is proud to be the national leader in motorcycle safety, education, and awareness, and whereas motorcycles are a primary, common, and economical means of transportation that reduces fuel consumption and road wear and contributes in a significant way to the relief of traffic and parking congestion. And whereas it is especially meaningful that the citizens of the village and state be aware of motorcycles on roadways and recognize the importance of motorcycle safety. And whereas the members of ABATE of Illinois, Inc., a brotherhood aimed toward education, continually promote motorcycle safety, education, and awareness in high school driver's education programs, and to the public in our village and state, represented motorcycle awareness programs to over 120,000 participants in Illinois over the past 9 years. And whereas all motorists shall join ABATE of Illinois in actively promoting the safe operation of motorcycles, as well as promoting motorcycle safety, education, awareness, and respect of the citizens of our village and state. And whereas the motorcyclists of Illinois have contributed extensive volunteerism and money to the national and community charitable organizations. And whereas during the month of May, all roadway users should unite in a safe sharing of roadways within the village of Tinley Park and throughout the great state of Illinois. Now therefore be resolved by the President and the Board of Trustees of the village of Tinley Park, Cook and Will counties in the great state of Illinois in recognition of 30 years of ABATE of Illinois and over 352,318 registered motorcyclists statewide, and in recognition of the continued role Illinois serves as a leader in motorcycle safety, education, and awareness, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2024 as Motorcycle Awareness Month in the village of Tinley Park, and that the village urges all motorcyclists to join to improve safety and awareness on our roadways. This is approved on this day, May 20, 2024, signed by our village clerk, Nancy O'Connor, and our mayor, village president, Mr. Michael Glotz.
Good. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis.
I believe representatives from ABATE are here, correct? If you guys would like to come forward and address the board, that would be great.
I'm the Vice President for South Suburban ABATE, and we'd like to thank the village as you've done in the past. You've supported us, and the safety and awareness that you've shown us, and we've worked together. It's all going to be appreciated, and we're looking forward to working with you in the future.
Very good.
And we want to thank you for your participation.
Well, thank you so much for all your contributions to motorcycle safety. This is it's a big issue, and we appreciate all you guys are doing.
Well, it's been working a lot. There's a lot of safety issues that have come up, and everybody that's participated, it's shown that there's results. And we're going to be back to see you again.
Very good.
But we want to thank you all for everything you've all done.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Appreciate it. You want a picture with the proclamation?
Sure.
I rode my bike tonight, yeah. My son owns one. My son owns one. Suck it in, Bill.
I'm gonna embarrass myself on one. You know how I look. I can't treat
Madam Clerk, would you want to call the roll on that one? Number 4?
Roll call for item 4, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good, that motion will carry. Moving on to item number 6, I believe Advent couldn't make it tonight for the business spotlight due to weather. So moving on to item number 6, consider the appointment of Mr. Jack Toohey, to the position of Police Special Project Coordinator. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Trustee Brady. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Trustee Mueller. So Jack first joined the Tinley Park Police Department overseeing the Records Division before transitioning to the part-time position of Police Project Coordinator in 2022. Over the last 2 years, he has performed operational and legal research, productivity analysis, grant funding, and operational studies to assist in managing department operations, programs, and services. Jack recommends changes in policies and procedures to improve operations. He works with the police chief relative to strategic and long-range planning. He keeps abreast of developments at the local and regional level and monitors pending legislation that could impact department operations. Jack's prior law enforcement experience includes serving 30 years, many of those as a supervisor at a municipal police department. Jack was a police chief for 8 years before being hired at Tinley Park, and holds a master's degree in public administration. Please consider appointing Mr. Jack Toohey to the position of Police Special Project Coordinator effective May 22nd. Congratulations, Jack. Did you want to say a few words?
I'd just like to thank Mayor Glatz, the Board of Trustees, and the village administration for this opportunity. I've kind of come full swing again at the police department, I guess, and also Chief Tilton for having the foresight to look at this position and value it and also bring it forward for me. And I look forward to working on the chief's team and all of you in the future. So thank you.
Very good.
Again.
Thank you, Jack. Well, I'll just add that, I've known Jack, over the last 3 years, and he's been a valuable asset to the team, and really happy that, that Chief was able to put his talents to good use. So we appreciate everything all your contributions, Jack. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 6, Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion will carry. Congrats, Jack.
Congratulations.
Item number 7, considered the appointment of Pamela Arvanites to the position of Marketing Assistant. Is there such a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Sullivan. Thank you, Trustee Brady. Pamela has 5 years of experience supporting marketing promotional programs, coordinating marketing materials with vendors, and assisting with the creation of marketing communication materials. Most recently, she has held various positions in a local school district supporting daily operations and understands working in a fast-paced environment. Pamela holds a Bachelor's of Science in Marketing, so please consider appointing Pamela Arvanites to the position of Marketing Assistant effective June 3rd, 2024. Is Pamela here? Oh, there you are.
Next to Jack.
Well, I'll just start real quick. I don't know you personally, but I know I've heard very good things. I believe you used to work at one of the local schools. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. It's a phenomenal school, Helen Keller, and I know a lot of the kiddos that we just saw here, and the teachers care so deeply, and I was touched by that speech that Ashley gave. So, yeah, they're good, great people, great group of people. And I want to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity. I'm really looking forward to getting started, and 2 people specifically, Donna Framke and Angela Rigo, for helping me through this process, and I'm just really excited to be here.
Excellent. Well, we're excited to have you, Pamela. Like I said, I've heard good things it was from another KSD 140 teacher. So when they heard they were losing you, they were upset. So
Yes.
their loss is our gain.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Excellent. Well, welcome.
You're
Thank
very
you.
busy. We've got lots
I
coming up.
hear that. I
It's a
have
fun-
big
it's
shoes
a-
to fill,
yeah,
so.
It's a fun department, that's
Yeah.
for sure. You do great.
Exciting time to join, that's
Yes,
for sure.
it
Yep.
is.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item number 7?
Roll call for item 7, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion will carry. Welcome, Pamela.
Congratulations.
Item number 8, is there a motion to consider the appointment of Curtis Flonder to the position of maintenance technician?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, trustee Mueller. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Mahoney. Curtis has 5 years of construction experience as a journeyman laborer, performing a variety of construction duties, including general construction and underground work. Most recently, he oversees an interior painting crew working on large projects. He is skilled with operating construction equipment, has numerous safety certifications, including OSHA 10-hour, and also completed the LIUNA Chicagoland Training and Apprentice Program. Please consider appointing Curtis Flonder to the position of maintenance technician effective May 22nd, 2024. Is Curtis here? Curtis, did you want to address the board? Say a few words? We know you do.
Just want to thank you guys. I'm very grateful and honored to be able to take the position. I start tomorrow, so I'm ready to get to work.
Excellent. Well, welcome to the team.
Welcome. Very much.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item number 8?
Roll call for item 8, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion will carry. Item number 9, consider the appointment of Kevin Casey to the position of maintenance technician. Is there such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, trustee Mueller. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Mahoney. Kevin has 15 years of experience as a welder fabricator, working on pedestrian bridges, billboards, heavy equipment, conveyor systems, motor chassis, and performing general maintenance. He also has 3 years of experience in horticulturalist fields and holds an Illinois pesticide applicator license. Please consider appointing Kevin Casey to the position of maintenance technician effective May 28th, 2024. Is Kevin here? There he is, okay. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Kevin Casey, and I have been a resident of Tinley Park for the past 35 years. This is my home, and I love living here. And it's an honor for me to start working for my village, and I'm so happy and grateful for the opportunity. Thank you for the board for your approval, and thank you for my daughter for her constant support. Once again, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Welcome to the team, Kevin. Madam Clerk, would you want to call the roll on item number 9, please?
Roll call for item 9, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion will carry.
Take a quick break so the appointees can leave.
Yeah, you guys do not have to stay for the rest of the meeting if you don't want to.
Enjoy your night.
Yeah, take care.
That's all.
You're welcome.
Okay, we know what you're thinking.
Enjoy your donuts.
Oh, jeez. Yikes. Oh, man.
No, it won't.
All right, item number 10. Consider approval of the following consent agenda items. The consent agenda items have been publicly listed and posted on the village website and are available for public viewing. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Mueller. Thank you, trustee Brady. Does anyone want to remove any items from the consent agenda? See none. Okay. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll for the consent agenda?
Roll call for item 10, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion will carry. Item number 11, trustee Mahoney.
Thank you. I move we consider adopting ordinance 2024-0-024, granting a variation to construct a porch within a required front yard at 9356 Pleasant Avenue.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
Thank you, trustee Sullivan. Go ahead, trustee Mahoney.
Thank you. The variation seeks to extend the maximum allowable encroachment for a porch in the required front yard at 9356 Pleasant Avenue. In the R2 zoning district, the Plan Commission held a public hearing on May 2nd of 2024 and voted 7-0 to recommend approval of the variation in accordance with the listed plans and drafted findings of fact in the staff report. This ordinance is eligible for adoption.
Very good. Thank you, trustee Mahoney. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? All righty. There. Well, hang on. If you would like to address the board, you can step to the podium. Yep.
This is my first meeting, never been here. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hi. I live in Kimberly Heights. Been here 14 years. I'm Kelly Jacobowski. My husband is Craig Jacobowski, 22-year veteran. So if we happen to have, I was just curious about this. This is actually my first time coming to one of these because something is coming up later on that I'm very passionate about. That is actually what made me want to come here. So my address will be on here to be approved, or you guys have to approve everything at these meetings? If I wanted a new porch or a gazebo or a garage?
Well, if it's outside of village codes, but Dan, if you want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, no, you typically would just need a building permit to do that.
Okay.
In this case, it's kind of a unique subdivision in that it was not here
Oh.
built. It was built in the county, so there's a lot of things that are non-conforming here. So for them to put a porch, it's a little bit outside of our code requirements. So
I was wondering.
It's rare that these have to come before them, and our hope is very few
Okay.
have to.
I was
So
just wondering, like,
Probably you would just have to get a building permit.
oh, thank gosh. So I was like, all right, all these people have to approve my gazebo? And I'm like,
Yeah, they kind
okay.
of have a unique lot. They have a non-conforming situation.
All right, all right.
It's-
Well, thank you very much. It's very kind of you for explaining that. Hope I didn't waste your time.
No, you're good. You're good.
It's fascinating, but I was like, oh my gosh, all right.
If you ever have any questions, you can always give us a call.
All right.
We can help you out.
Very good. Any questions? Nothing? Okay. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item number 11?
Roll call for item 11, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion will carry. Item number 12, trustee Brady.
Thank you. I'd like to have the board consider adopting Resolution 2024-R-065, approving a license agreement between the Village of Tinley Park and Durbin's HS LLC.
Is there a motion?
I will make that motion.
Thank you, trustee Sullivan. Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Thank you, trustee Mahoney. Go ahead, Mr. Brady.
The staff is recommending approval of licensing agreement for Durbin's at Harmony Square with Durbin's HS LLC for a period of 10 years with the option of 2 5-year renewals. This item was discussed at the Committee of the Whole held prior to this meeting. This resolution is eligible for adoption.
Thank you, trustee Brady. Any questions or comments? There are none. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 12, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion carries. Item number 13, trustee Brady.
Thank you. I'd like to have the board consider adopting Resolution 2024-R-066, approving a license agreement between the Village of Tinley Park and Tian's HS LLC.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, trustee Sullivan. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Mahoney. Go ahead, Mr. Brady.
Thank you. The staff is recommending approval of this licensing agreement for Tian's Harmony Square with Tian's HS LLC for a period of 10 years with the option of 2 5-year renewals. This item was discussed at the Committee of the Whole prior to the meeting. This resolution is also eligible for adoption.
Very good. Thank you, trustee Brady. Any questions or comments? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item number 13?
Roll call for item 13, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion will carry. Item number 14, trustee Brady.
Thank you. I'd like the board to consider adopting ordinance 2024-0-015, amending section 30.16A of the chapter 30 of title 3 of the Tinley Park Municipal Code relative to the regular meetings of the president and board of trustees.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Mahoney. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, trustee Mueller.
Thank you, gentlemen. This ordinance reflects the amendment to the municipal code pertaining to the start time of regular meetings for the village board. The start time of the regular village board meetings will be amended to 6 p.m. beginning June 4th, 2024. Appropriate notice have been given in accordance with the Illinois Open Meeting Act. This ordinance was discussed at the Committee of the Whole prior to this meeting. This ordinance is eligible for adoption.
Thank you, trustee Brady. Any questions or comments? There are none. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item number 14?
Roll call for item 14, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries. Item number 15, trustee Brady.
Thank you, sir. Once again, we ask the board to consider approving the amended regular village board meetings and the regular committee of the whole meetings schedules for the remainder of 2024.
Is there a
I'll
motion?
make the motion.
Thank you, trustee Mueller. Is there a
I will
second?
second that.
Thank
Thank
you, trustee Sullivan.
These amendment schedules for the regular village board and the regular committee of the whole meetings reflect changes in the start times for the remainder of 2024. The committee of the whole began at 5:45, and the village board meeting will begin at 6 p.m. on the first and third Tuesdays of each month at Tinley Park Village Hall, beginning June 4th, 2024. Appropriate notice has been given in accordance with the Illinois Open Meetings Act. This item was discussed at the Committee of the Whole held prior to this meeting. Please consider approving the amended regular village board and the regular Committee of the Whole meeting schedule for the remainder of 2024.
Thank you, trustee Brady. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? There are none. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item number 15?
Roll call for item 15, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro
It's a
Tem Brennan?
it's a mouthful. Yeah, yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion will carry. Item number 16, trustee Brady.
Thank you. Once again, considering adopting ordinance 2024-0-027, amending Chapter 37 of the Title III of the Tinley Park Municipal Code, Freedom of Information, FOIA.
Very good. Thank you, trustee Brady. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, trustee Sullivan. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Mahoney. Go ahead, Mr. Brady.
This ordinance amends Chapter 37 of the Tinley Park Code to simply state that the village will comply with the 5 ILCS 40 Illinois Freedom of Information Act, otherwise known as FOIA, is amended. This prevents the village from having to amend a portion of the village code each time an Illinois FOIA law is changed. This ordinance was discussed at the Committee of the Whole and held prior to this meeting. This ordinance is eligible for adoption.
Very good. Thank you, trustee Brady. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item number 16?
Roll call for item 16, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries. Item number 17, trustee Brady.
We'd like to consider adopting ordinance 2024-0-026, amending Title 11, Chapter 120 of the Tinley Park Municipal Code related to the tobacco dealing regulations and licensing.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
A second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Sullivan.
You're on, Bill.
Go ahead,
Well,
Mr.
he
Brady.
didn't tell me I could go.
Go ahead, Mr. Brady.
There you go. The ordinance adopts new regulations related to the licensing of tobacco, vape, and nicotine dealers in the village of Tinley Park. The regulation updates includes clarifying the definitions and setting a specific number of available dealer licenses. This item was discussed at the Committee of the Whole prior to this meeting. This ordinance is eligible for adoption.
Very good. Thank you, trustee Brady. Any questions from the board? Comments? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item number 17?
Roll call for item 17, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion will carry. Item number 18, trustee Brady. It's your next.
Yes. Thank you very much. Since I'm the only one working tonight, I'd like to have the board consider adopting ordinance 2024-0-028, amending Title 11, Chapter 124 of the Tinley Park Municipal Code related to the tobacco dealer regulations and licensing.
Very good. Thank you, trustee Brady. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, trustee Sullivan. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Very good. Thank you, trustee Mahoney. Go ahead, Mr. Brady.
Thank you. This ordinance adopts new regulations related to the licensing of tobacco, vape, and nicotine dealers in the village of Tinley Park. The regulation updates includes clarifying definitions and setting a specific number of available dealer licenses. This item was discussed at the committee of the whole prior to this meeting. This ordinance is also eligible for adoption.
Thank you, trustee Brady. I got a feeling that Ms. Jaworski is going to keep that admin and legal committee busy.
Just trying to help.
Keeping you awake over there. Any questions or comments from the board? There are none.
I have one question.
You can, you can, go ahead.
Only question I have is what is going to be that specific number limit of the tobacco business license for the city of Tinley?
You want to go ahead, Hannah?
I mean, do you want to explain it, or do you
Yeah,
want me to just?
I believe it's set at the current number of establishments we have. So we have 33 licensed now.
I have one of them, so I just
Okay,
wanted
yeah,
to come. I'm
so-
also here for another topic as well, but I was just curious on what that specific number was going to be.
So Dan, if I may, I'll just refer
Yeah.
directly to the ordinance. So there's, as Mr. Ritter was saying, there's currently 33 licenses total. So it's currently, the village has 22 what are considered Class A licenses, which are the licenses where it's an accessory use, and 11 Class B licenses, those are licenses where it's a primary use.
Yeah, I've been in business for over 10 years. I actually agree with that. I definitely agree that there should be a limit. It's become quite ridiculous. I mean, in every city and village with the amount of vape shops and those type of things. So that's, I was just curious just
So,
about like, what
but
that
if I may
number would
finish,
be.
so it's actually going to be 25 Class A, just because, those involve like gas stations and grocery stores and things that sell these items as more of an accessory or incidental use.
Okay.
But it's going to be capped as of right now at 11, which is the current number of current licensees.
All right, thank you
For,
guys.
for the
Yep.
primary uses.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Any other questions? Nothing? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item number 18?
Roll call for item 18, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries. Item number 19. I'd like to make a motion to consider adopting ordinance 2024-0-029, establishing a new section 132.70, the prohibition of kratom, novel synthetic, and psychoactive drug businesses of Title 8, the general offenses, Chapter 132, offenses against morals of the Village of Tinley Park Village Code. Is
I'll
there a
second
second? Thank you, trustee Mueller. This ordinance adopts regulations prohibiting the sale, delivery, possession, and use of synthetic and psychoactive drug products, including kratom. This item was discussed at the committee of the whole meeting held prior to this meeting, and this ordinance is eligible for adoption. Any questions from the board?
I just want to make a statement. It's great to see once again that the village is ahead of these programs because it's only been outlawed in 6 states. Okay, so it's nice that our village is again ahead of the program, making sure that this doesn't get into our village.
Very good.
Yeah, it's already.
Well,
Thank you, trustee Brady. Any other comments?
A
Go
point
ahead,
of
trustee Shaw.
clarification on this, as I'm reading the action item, and I apologize, I didn't notice this earlier. As I read the proposed ordinance, it doesn't relate to possession. Unless
Actually, I believe it does. Let me go down to the
Okay,
ordinance.
then I may have missed that in my reading.
Or actually, maybe it doesn't. Hold on, let me look at it. I drafted a few ordinances for this agenda. Let's see, hold on. That is correct. So it really just outlaws the sale of it. So it specifically states a no business license by the Village of Tinley Park shall manufacture, sell, offer for sale, give away, deliver, or distribute any products that contain kratom or a novel psychoactive or novel synthetic drug or a chemical analog of kratom or a novel psychoactive or novel synthetic drug. And so it really, it goes to the businesses. It's not per se a penalty on a person for possessing it, because as of right now, under state law, it's not illegal to possess it. The state also has not made it illegal to sell it, but the state has said that you can't have it or use it if you're under 18. So the state law would still apply as to persons under 18, but persons over 18 would be able to have it within the village limits. They just would not be able to purchase it within the village if this ordinance passes.
Okay, good. That was, thank you for clarifying. That was my understanding. Given that that's what the draft ordinance says, is there, from a technical standpoint, any need to amend the agenda?
Yeah, the motion is, because in the agenda, it does say possession. I guess in the discussion.
Well, that is just part of the discussion. The ordinance speaks for itself, so I guess just, because did your motion say possession? I think that was just your introduction of the item. So
Right.
we can just correct the record that it does not actually address possession, but let me just double and triple check really
Yeah,
quick.
it's just-
I'm gonna, it's hard for me to search it on this computer. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think that was a carryover from the other section.
And let me just double
It's
check.
okay.
real
I mean,
quick.
it's worth taking a moment to make sure we
Absolutely.
do it correctly.
Just, I gotta go through about like 5 steps to log on to my drive, so just bear with me for about 1 minute. Just need to know if I need a new sheet.
I mean, I think it's, if it's not.
Just do a quick, let me just do a quick motion to take out possession and use of. Just in the discussion
I don't think it's
part
in
of
the
it.
ordinance. I think it's
It's not, yeah, I agree.
So.
I think it needs to be changed at all. Yeah, it does, the ordinance itself does not address possession.
Just the sale?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, okay. All right,
Okay.
very good, okay. So you don't need,
Good catch.
you don't need an amendment?
No, there's
Okay,
not,
okay.
there's not an amendment that's needed, because the motion was just to pass the ordinance. And so that was just your discussion portion of
Right,
it, and your
okay.
introduction of it. So we have now corrected that on the record, that it does not address possession. So I think that you're fine.
Very good, okay.
Thank you.
Great,
All right.
thank you.
You're welcome, great
Very
catch.
good. Any other comments from the board? There are none. Any comments from the public?
Several.
Yep. You guys can address the podium.
May I approach and drop this off to you?
Sure.
This is a petition with 120 signatures. I was just aware of this 2 days ago. Given the time, I would have had more. This is also a picture back when we opened the store up. We had the Chamber of Commerce come out, and everybody there was drinking the kratom tea. Everybody there was eating the kratom brownies, especially you, sir. And nobody got sick. Nobody got psychoactive. Nobody got high. Nobody was curled up in the corner. Nobody came the next day to buy it. I will die on that hill. Kratom is not addictive. It's only addictive to people that are addicted to opiates. When you take kratom, it overtakes the receptors in your brain. And it doesn't make you want to take the opiates. So when you take kratom away from your system, your natural instinct is to have the opiates again. Now, with vaping, which I was a vapor, I quit smoking, I quit vaping 8 months to the day. I no longer vape. You can do the same thing with kratom. You can lower your dosage over time and finally get rid of the opiate addiction. Now, I haven't even looked at my sheet yet. 96 of our customers, 96%, are over the age of 30. 96%. 35 are law enforcement, teachers, nurses, veterans. They can use Kratom for their PTSD. Just seeing that come in and being able to help. And you guys don't want to take that away. I'm going to go to my letter. To the City Council of Tinley Park. Hi, my name's Ken Sipchuk. Excuse me. Alongside my wife, Ignitia Simchek, we opened our natural herbal store in Tinley Park in December 2018 with the grand opening on March 27th. I'm going to list the reasons we opened the store. I'm allergic to all pain meds. I can't take anything, and if I take it, I get massive congestion and headaches. Kratom helps with that by naturally killing the pain in my body. I have a bad back. I take Kratom, I feel better. I don't get high. I'm naturally functional. I can look at people in the eye. When I wake up, I don't reach for the Kratom. When I vaped, I would wake up in the middle of the night. You can ask her. Grab my vape pen, take a couple hits, and go back to bed. With Kratom, I wake up. I don't need it. I only use Kratom when my back pain flared up or before working out. It's a great pre-workout drug. We have, I would say drug supplement. We have mixed martial arts fighters that actually come and take it before they fight. I know everyone is different on how their brain processes different alkaloids, but that's my truth. I had 5 friends get addicted to heroin back in the 90s. I actually walked in on them sniffing heroin. They later shot up. I told them, every one of you is going to be living back at home stealing from your parents. I watched all of their lives get thrown down the drain. I only have a relationship with one of those friends now. He managed to get clean using Suboxone, but the way he looked, he was 50 years old, but he looked 65. He switched to Kratom and over the course of the year managed to wean off of the Suboxone. The term gas station heroin comes up too many times in my opinion. This is simply unfair to people who take Kratom as a supplement. It's sold in health stores, and one of the reasons I opened my shop was to help people learn about this plant and end that stigma. We wanted to bring these alkaloids mainstream to help other people like us. Addiction. This is a tough one because I've never been shaking, shivering, and sweating profusely because I needed a dose of Kratom. Again, that's me. But I've never been an opiate addict. I can only attest that Kratom isn't a cure, but you can take that Kratom instead of opiates and wean yourself down. Now, there have been some states that Kratom was banned in, or there was an effort to ban. Once truthful evidence was presented, the bans and attempted bans were put to a halt. I have a member of the American Kratom Association here to go through the science for 6 minutes after my spiel. Now, please look up the National Institute on Drug Abuse. They received a $20 million grant to study Kratom. They found that there was not only one death, that there was never a death solely attributed to Kratom. When you hear about the deaths, it's because people have fentanyl in their system. They're mixing other drugs. And when they get the toxicology report, they don't look at the fentanyl, they're looking at Neutrogena. It's ridiculous. Now, that's all I have, but thank you for listening.
Thank you.
I'll give the floor to everybody else. But as I said, please rethink. We're on 183rd in Harlem, and we are helping people. You can take away Delta 8, Delta 10, all the marijuana stuff. I completely agree. Vaping, 5% of the nicotine, it's 50 milligram. And those kids in schools are smoking 50 milligram. When we used to have a vape shop, it was 3 milligram and 6 milligram. That's why we closed. Because 50 milligram is way too much for a kid to put in their bodies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you to the Village of Tinley Park for allowing public comment this evening. My name is Ryan Burrows. I'm the Executive Director of the American Kratom Association. In advance of this meeting, the association sent quite a bit of information to you, and I hope you've had some time to look through it, but I do know it was quite a bit. The American Kratom Association advocates for more than 15 million Kratom consumers in the United States to let science drive the decision-making and provide access to safely manufactured, age-restricted, fully tested, and properly labeled Kratom products that provide adequate instructions for safe use. Unfortunately, until just the past few months, the FDA has engaged in a more than decade-long anti-kratom campaign on many mistaken beliefs. The FDA's own science is now directly contradicting their false narrative. The FDA has submitted 2 separate recommendations for the scheduling of kratom as a Schedule I substance, both of which were rejected for lack of evidence and data, and a petition to the UN Commission on Narcotic Drugs for international scheduling of kratom, which was unanimously rejected by the Expert Committee on Drug Dependence for insufficient evidence. On February 8th of this year, the FDA was ordered to present evidence and documents before the U.S. District Court for Southern California on their claim that kratom is dangerous. The FDA refused to attend this hearing, and the U.S. Attorney explained to the court the FDA, quote, has not yet determined whether kratom is dangerous. The fundamental claim that kratom is dangerous was most recently disputed by a human dose finding study conducted by the FDA itself, which found that there were no significant adverse events observed, even at very high doses. Only 2 of the participants experienced nausea after consuming 12 grams of kratom. It's an enormous amount of kratom. This was presented in the form of 24 capsules that had to be consumed within 5 minutes. I know I would have nausea if the capsules were air. The finding was that kratom appears to be well tolerated at all dose levels. This data was presented by the FDA at a scientific conference at the beginning of this year. The safety study has cleared the way for a human abuse potential study that will be completed by the FDA over the next several years. Truly, if the FDA had any concern, they would obviously not have moved forward with this study. I met these wonderful local store owners this afternoon. Truly stunning store called Natural Healings, if you have a chance to go look at it. They've put handcrafted trees and shelving, and this is almost like walking into a retail section of a spa or something. It really was amazing, and to talk with the associate there that knows the community, knows the customers, and as you hear, right, 96% of their customers are over 30 years of age. This is simply not a supplement that has the purpose of getting you high. Yes, it is sold in gas stations for several reasons. The average consumer wants to be able to quickly have access to a product that helps them focus on that big project at work, or maybe they're stopping by on the way to the gym. In more serious situations, individuals that are looking to find an alternative or for assistance with an addiction problem may not have access to a recovery center, or quite simply may be looking to find an alternative with kratom, a supplement that in a recent Johns Hopkins study reported that of nearly 3,000 kratom consumers, of those treating opioid dependence, 87% reported relief from withdrawal symptoms, and 35% were free from opioids within 1 year. I should mention that if this were an opioid, we would not be here. It would already be banned. The Kratom Consumer Protection Act has been passed in 13 states. Kentucky and Maryland were added this year. In addition, the federal Kratom Consumer Protection Act was introduced last year with bipartisan sponsorship. My intent in speaking tonight is that the hope that you will consider further discussion on kratom and delay your decision, similar to Homer Glen and Des Plaines, as Illinois is currently reviewing its very own KCPA, Kratom Consumer Protection Act, with bipartisan support of Representative Marcus Evans as well as Representative Travis Weaver. We appreciate the consideration of this committee to continue to keep properly regulated kratom products available. Regulation is critical. A ban on kratom would make criminals out of the Village of Tinley Park residents, including veterans, first responders, and folks like you and I that may be looking for a national alternative. Thank you for your time.
Very good. Thank you.
I'm another business owner on 183rd in Harlem as well. We sell the kratom products. I like to vouch for everything the 2 of them both just said. I do have a lot of customers that are police officers, paramedics, firefighters, nurses, school teachers, the whole 9 and shebang. I didn't think I was actually going to say this today, but I'm going to just own it. I was an opioid addict for 10 years. With the use of kratom, I was able to wing myself off within 6 months, and I can happily say that I have been 3 years sober today with no problems, no anything. I never had any bad effects. I never did anything stupid with it. I didn't feel high. I didn't have a rush. I didn't have anything. It just simply offset the withdrawals and the bad things of going on that I didn't want to do with Suboxone, because if you do your research on the Suboxone that a lot of the other doctors try to use for people, you do get addicted to that, and then you do have a need for the Suboxone. With kratom, I didn't have to go through that, which was a good thing for me. I've seen quite a few of my customers that have also had really good success stories, such as myself, of being on other things and were able to wean themselves off and have a happy and stable and better life with that. So I would also ask for you guys not to make a final decision on this topic today. Please do further research. Please have this a better discussion. I also, like this man, I had no idea about this topic until yesterday when I received several emails from my customers. So please reconsider this. Please do your research and bring this back on another day. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michael Fasano. I'm 38 years old. I work as an implementation specialist. I've been drinking Kratom tea. I mix it with my chamomile since early 2008, late 2007. I've been taking it on and off. It helps with my insomnia because I suffer from chronic insomnia. I'm also active in dance and taekwondo, so being 38, I've developed joint pains, and it's really helped me with those aches and pains. My blood work is fantastic. I just recently got it done. Kratom is natural. It's natural tea. It's nothing like bath salts or K2 or fentanyl, nothing synthetic. It's a relief to know that the possession part of it is removed. And what scares me about bans is I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm a good person. I haven't had anything more than a traffic ticket, which was so long ago. And it scares me to know that if I were in a county or state where there would be a ban against something like me, that scares me to be the thought of being criminally prosecuted or fined or something along those lines when I follow the law. So I just wanted to share my testimonial with you guys, and I totally agree with these folks here that have spoke before you. So I just wanted to give you my thoughts and my opinions today, and thank you for letting me the time to speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, could I interject?
Sure, please.
The last two speakers stated some things, and before we go on, I want to make sure that we don't continue with an incorrect notion that anything in the ordinance has to do with criminalizing or making criminals out of anybody in the community. We clarified that right up front. There's nothing in the ordinance that deals with possession. So Mr. Burrows stated in his comments something about making criminals out of the residents. That's.
Can I reply to that?
Certainly, but I just want to, and then the last speaker made another comment. That's why I brought it up in the front, because I agree with that. I don't agree with an ordinance making possession prohibited in the community, okay? So I just wanted to make that, before we go on any further.
Sure. No, I appreciate it.
Continue to perpetrate that,
Yeah.
that notion, because it's understandable because it was in the agenda, right? So it's understandable that there was confusion about that. But we clarified that up front, and I think we should all be clear about that.
Yeah,
done.
no, I appreciate it. Thanks, Trustee Shaw.
I'm done if you.
Yeah, thank you. Very good.
Can I comment since my name was mentioned, or?
Your time is up, but if, I'll allow it for
It's a
briefly.
brief comment.
Yeah.
And to Trustee Shaw, thank you for making that clarification, but these store owners here become criminals if they sell it. So it doesn't fix the problem. And I'm sorry, but.
Yeah, I don't want to really debate that. I mean, anybody who sells a product without a license, yeah, I guess that's an act.
If this passes, we're done. And you lose another tax-paying company in the park.
Go ahead.
I've never done anything like this, so I'm really nervous. Having Kratom readily available is excessively important to my life. Over 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I also have trigeminal neuralgia. The medical field has abandoned chronic pain patients. After years of going to the doctors with no help, I was bedridden. I was out of work for 2 years. I've been a sleep tech for 19 years. I got 2 kids. I'm a single mother. And my mom's also disabled on 8 liters of oxygen. I couldn't work for 2 years to provide. With the help of Kratom, I was able to get back to work. If I forget it at home and I'm out and about and I see a store, I can stop if I need it. I don't take it every day. I have my good days, I have my bad days. I have flares where sometimes I am still bedridden, but the important thing is I'm able to work. I'm not addicted, I don't need it, I haven't had any side effects from it. Finding the right strand for me was a process. But just having it available has literally changed my life and my children's. I'm available for them now. I can do things with them where I was essentially absent in bed and unable to do anything with them or for them for years. So I just hope you guys will reconsider because there are people out there that really depend on it because the medical field has abandoned chronic pain patients. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time tonight. Thanks for giving us an actual reasonable time to speak, 6 minutes instead of the 3 minutes that Orland Park gave us, which is just unreasonable. I'd like to start off just by drinking some Kratom first off, because, you know, I use it, so I'm going to have some. Now, I noticed this egregiously propagandist article in the paper that came out from the Southland Your Times that has this brilliantly concocted "just to say no" headline in big, bold red letters. That is not journalism. That is not unbiased. That is not an informative statement. That is a command. That is a demand. This is such egregious propaganda. I can't even say anything else about it. And as you can see, the handsome gentleman photographed there is myself holding a 1 kilo bag of Kratom. I do use it regularly because I as well have pain that is not quite debilitating, but it prohibits me from engaging in regular functions. I am an animal education presenter. I have to memorize so many facts about 80-plus animals. I have a two-toed sloth that I give presentations with, which is actually how I met Nicole over there the other day at an animal function. And so I'm just going to say, the Lord works in mysterious ways. It's good that things happen, that I can be able to spread the word about this. But I did take a few notes, so I would like to say that first off, caffeine is a psychoactive substance. It is a mind-altering drug that affects how we think and feel. It is a stimulant which speeds up our breathing, heart rate, thoughts, and actions. Caffeine is found in the seeds, leaves, and fruits of certain shrubs, including coffee and tea plants. Now, Kratom itself is also a plant. It is not a synthetic drug. It is not an opioid, and it is itself in the coffee plant family. So for this newspaper to say, Orland bans sales of Kratom synthetic drugs with no comma after Kratom and no and after that comma, so it says Kratom and synthetic drugs, is, again, just egregious. I can't believe the propaganda that gets put out. And this paper went out to not only your community, Tinley Park, but also Mokina, New Lenox, and Frankfurt. So now there are multiple other communities that are at risk for this being an issue that's brought up there. And I can't say anything more to the science that hasn't already been stated by our American Kratom Association representative and organization, which I am also a member of, and gladly so, because these types of bans, quite frankly, they are an affront to the Constitution. They are an affront to our freedom. This is supposed to be a nation of freedom and rights, rights that we held, given to us by God, that no man has the right to violate. Yet here we are, having to defend that against a tsunami, a hurricane of disinformation and propaganda. I just find that so offensive. It's beyond words. It's preposterous, to say the least there. I'd like to quote Dr. Mark T. Swager, a PhD associate professor, Department of Psychiatry, at the University of Rochester Medical Center. He says that as a social scientist, I can merely summarize the existing data. I see no good evidence that Kratom is deadly, and the overall data suggests that Kratom is a relatively mild plant that is helping people. I'll stop the quote there because he goes on, but that's all you really need to hear about that. And I would also like to bring up some other statistics very briefly here. From 2020, in Illinois, drivers under the age of 21 represent only 10% of licensed drivers, but yet they are involved in 17% of alcohol-related fatal crashes. So why are we even sitting here talking about Kratom when we have far wider-reaching problems that are more serious than that, including alcohol abuse and other abuses of other drugs like opioids? I used to work at a pizza joint. I had a coworker come in one day. I saw, and this is hard to say, I saw him die in front of me. I saw him sitting on a table, fall to the ground, dead. If they did not have Suboxone or Narcan there to put under his nose to get him back to life, I would have just watched a man die. Do you want, that to be a continuing problem? Because as we've already stated here, Kratom helps avoid those issues. It allows people a substance that makes them not dependent on the pharmaceutical industry to be able to manage their pain, manage their issues, whatever it may be. Like they said, fibromyalgia, insomnia, other, great, issues that affect people medicinally. So I just find it, really just offensive that this is even, happening right now. The offense to morals currently is not Kratom. It's the fact that we're even having to stand here and defend ourselves against a potential ban like this. So I want to just really encourage you all to please vote no tonight and don't go through with this. You really need to go through all the information, because it seems like, I don't want to accuse anybody, but it seems like the information has not been gone through thoroughly enough, because if you had gone through all the information made available by our American Kratom Association representative, you would be of the position already that this ban should not be happening, and you will vote no. I'm not telling you what to do, of course. You will make up your own minds, but the other thing I'd like to say is that just because an ordinance has been written for adoption does not mean that you should go through with it. It seems in some cases that once an ordinance is written for adoption, everyone's already made up their mind about it, and they're just going to vote yes anyways, just like Orland Park. As soon as the roll call came up, yes, 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 not even a thought in the world from people about it, apparently. So I am very encouraged that we had such good support tonight from all the people that came out and gave their testimonies. It's great to see that we have good options for being able to go to well-ran establishments that are tax-paying individuals that benefit the community, that people can buy these things safely in and know what they're getting into, and not have to worry about if they're receiving some bad, product from some shady website, as it were. I currently purchase on the internet. I buy 5 kilograms at a time, because that's the only cheap way for me to be able to afford to use it on the basis that I need its use, which again, in my case, because of the work that I engage in and how I need to sometimes be driving for 5-6 hours a day, going place to place to show these animals and educate people, I need that to be able to just sit in the driver's seat and drive without getting my back so tense that I have to pull over and lay down because of the pain there. So I just want to end this by saying thank you for listening to our testimony. I really hope that it has had good effect on you and that you will vote no on adopting this ordinance. So thank you again, and I really appreciate the time. I'll yield the rest of my time there.
May I ask, do any of you individuals live in Tinley Park?
I live in Orland.
You live in Orland?
Tinley.
Tinley Park?
We own the store in Tinley, but we live in Creek.
I'm a store in Tinley, but I'm in unincorporated Frankfurt, so I'm literally closer to downtown Tinley than I am downtown Frankfurt.
I'm
Okay.
Crestwood, but we're looking to buy a house, and my sister lives in Tinley, so we're looking.
Okay. Okay. You can address the board if you'd like.
This should be quick. My name's Rick Jeswin, and I'm 35 years old. I have been a resident of Tinley Park in Cook County most of my life. I suffer from anxiety and sleep issues, so being up here right now kind of terrifies me, but I care about this topic, so I'm giving it a shot. I've tried a lot of things over the years to combat the stress and anxiety and sleep issues, from over-the-counter products to home remedies to prescription drugs. But nothing worked for me. I didn't like the way I felt taking a pill with the unwanted side effects. And then I found Kratom. So I've taken Kratom for the last 10 years, not to get high, but to improve my quality of life. I can't imagine it without it. If you take this away, the selling of Kratom in Tinley, a lot of people like myself will suffer and be worse off. I implore you, don't put a blanket ban on selling of Kratom when there are good businesses that help a lot of people. These companies do extensive third-party testing to ensure the safety of the consumer, and it would be criminal to ban them from helping people like me.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board?
I did not write anything because I did not expect to speak, but been living here 13 years, Kimberly Heights. Basically, when Ken and Aggie opened their store on 183rd in Harlem, I went, well, I've never tried that. Let me try it. And I mostly went in there to help my husband. 22-year Air Force veteran, 14 years special ops. He was even microwaved. They left the radar on, and he was repairing something, and he was microwaved, like a hamster in a microwave. He isn't expected to live to 60. All right. So he goes to the VA, and he's not one for taking pills. I have to argue with him to take Tylenol. He's stubborn, but and he did try the usual painkillers that pharmaceutical, the VA would give you, and they were so heavy and narcotic that he could not function at work. He just couldn't. And he works at the Allsip paper mill. Okay, he needs to be on his toes. He's in furnaces. He's in 3-story tall machines fixing them. So he needs to be alert. And so we stopped in, and I tried their CBD products, which helped with my arthritis, my inflammation, even helped me sleep at night. But then I saw the Kratom, and I went, all right, well, let's try this. They explain everything. They ask you what medications you're on. We just don't pass it out all willy-nilly. And they describe what each strain does and how much to take. They just don't throw it at you. This is a legitimate, caring business. And we started at the bottom, and we slowly worked our way up in doses. And now my husband he's functioning. I have to argue with him to take a vacation in December because he's a workaholic, plus he's Polish. But he's awesome. But this has benefited our lives. He was actually able to get back on his motorcycle. He works continuously. We're even going on a road trip this weekend to North Carolina just for the heck of it. And he's going to drive 10 hours. Before, we couldn't do that. He doesn't get high from it. For instance, there's a Gold Bali strain that can take your pain away. He takes that. There's no hallucinating. Like I said once earlier, you don't get high from it. It's like taking Tylenol. It's like a natural Tylenol. It's the best way I can explain it. He would be here tonight, but he has to work. He's always working. But Kratom has definitely benefited our lives, and I don't know what we would do without it. And once again, this company, and I am also a manager. I love this product so much that now I am a manager of one of their stores in Palos. And I get first responders across the board, highway patrol, pharmacists, because they know that we test it, it's safe. And then we describe, how can I explain this? I am former healthcare. I'm retired. Geriatrics, Alzheimer's, dementia, hospice. We do get a lot of seniors, people 55 and up with pain, but they don't trust pharmaceuticals anymore. They just don't. Especially when you become a senior, sometimes these narcotics throw you for a serious loop. They'll fall down the stairs. They'll break a hip. They have a more delicate system, shall I say. And sometimes the CBD that they offer and the Kratom in smaller doses can help. I have a new lady, a customer, has scoliosis. She's 72. We started with the Gold Bali, just 1 capsule, 1 gram. You take it with something acidic, orange juice or lemonade. And it took her pain away. She was amazed. And she came back, and now she's a regular. But she only takes it as needed. I also printed out, and all of our stores have them, what medications interact with Kratom. And I have actually refused to give someone Kratom because of medications that they were on. So, because when the first thing they ask is, the first thing I ask is, what medications are you on? And if they're on blood thinners, thyroid, rejection meds, statin drugs, they should not take it, you know? And then I do deny them. And I go, I'm sorry. I said, I don't recommend this. Or I tell them, call your pharmacist. We do this at all of our locations. We advise them to call the pharmacist, not their doctor, their pharmacist. Pharmacists have 2 to 3 times more schooling, and they know more about medicine interactions than your doctor will. And a lot of them do come back and go, all right, the pharmacist says this does not interact with my drugs. Or I can take it with my thyroid med, but it has to be 12 hours apart. And I go, okay. So this couple is amazing. So, but thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments.
I'm very passionate about this.
Thank you.
Permission to say one more thing? Give me 2 seconds.
It's, someone from the board has to make a motion to extend to give you an additional time to speak, so.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
We need a second, hang on.
I'll second.
Was that trustee Mahoney? Okay. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Can we clarify the motion as to how much time we're giving?
Yeah, give them
Minute.
minute?
Minute's good?
Okay.
I need 30 seconds.
Okay.
There we go.
You have to ask yourself.
Well, yeah, hang on one second. We got to vote on this.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you for your time. You have to ask yourselves this question. What is going to happen if there's a blanket-wide ban, just like Orland Park, Tinley Park, and cascading? These people, what's their next choice? They can't go to the doctor. The doctor's cutting off all the meds. So what you're going to find is street drugs everywhere. And then you have the fentanyl and everything else that's killing these kids and people. Now, make your decision, please. Thank you for your time.
Who seconded? Who seconded?
Trustee Mahoney. Very good. Any questions from the board?
I do.
Comments?
Yeah.
Go ahead, trustee Sullivan.
Okay. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Dan, but do you know how many businesses currently sell this that would include vape stores, gas stations?
We don't license it, so the only one I'm aware of that it's their primary business is Here Today. But we don't really license it, so we don't know how many gas stations sell it, tobacco stores, liquor stores, grocery stores, convenience stores. It's sold at a lot of different locations, so
Right.
we don't really
That,
have put
I
that
think that's
number
mostly
is.
my concern is how it's unregulated. It sounds like they're very educated on this topic. And, you know, somebody sent some information to me and some of it was sent today, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to read through that. But I was trying to look on both sides and, you know, I read a case study from Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, but of course it's gonna be biased because they're gonna be not really for alternative type medicine, but, yeah, I'm just concerned with the, kind of like with the vape stores. We have so many of them, we're trying to, dial it down. And kind of the same thing, like, I would be voting no on this, but if we could table it to have further discussion on it of how somehow we can regulate it, I don't know if that's even possible, but, I don't like that you can find it in, a little pen. I don't know if that's, I don't know enough about it to make an educated decision to just vote yes on this. But I don't like how it's like readily available places where, teenagers can go. And so that's like my concern. But again, I don't know, you read about the side effects, but then you hear testimonials from people, saying how it helps them. I read through the petition and a lot of notes in there of how people say that it helps them. So I don't know. I don't know what the rest of the board thinks of doing, but I don't know if this is something that we could further discuss unless, we take a vote and it is what it is, but that's my thoughts.
Very good. Thank you, trustee Sullivan. I'll, hang on, we gotta have board discussion here. I'll just add that, I agree with what trustee Sullivan has said. I think that, there's many different uses for it, and I appreciate your guys' diligence with your customers, but unfortunately, you're not the only places that sell this. And you guys, and this isn't meant as a dig or anything like that, but you're not pharmacists and you're not licensed. So that's the big concern that I think the board has. You know, I'll speak for myself, I guess, on that. But I just, this is kind of a you know, a broad topic, and you know, this, you know, I feel like this is, there's a lot of course, you guys spoke of the pros of it. There's also, you know, a lot of cons as well too. And you know, you guys have had your say, you know, but we've also done some of our research up here too. So, but I'll just give those as my comments, and I'll open it up to the rest of the board. So.
The only other thing I just want to add to is that it's not illegal. So, you know, we're not, if it was some, I don't know. Go ahead, Mike Mueller. You have anything to say? I don't know, I'm not comfortable with this one, how to vote. Oh, well.
Hang on.
I have some
Yeah,
comments on that.
Go ahead, Trustee Shaw.
So I appreciate the comments of everyone who spoke here, and I appreciate the diligence that your store appears to have with respect to this product. One of the concerns I have with this is that this is an unregulated product, and the jury seems to be out, and some conflict in the among the regulators and the professionals as to is it this or is it that. In my opinion, I don't think the village board should be, or I don't think the village board is qualified to be making
Correct.
these types of decisions. However, it is our role to make the decisions when it comes to ordinances and licensing. When it comes to the product itself, I think we have to rely on what the current stance is. And unless and until it becomes a regulated product and recognized product, I think that the ordinance as it stands is reasonable, particularly notwithstanding this business here, but the availability of the unregulated product all across the community. So if I understand the ordinance as written, it most heavily affects this particular business here, but it eliminates the product from being available anywhere else in the village. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's, so basically it eliminates the sale of the item. And I also wanted to point out that in the ordinance, it does give a sort of amnesty period, if you will, which allows I'm just trying to find it.
It's 12
It's
12 months.
Well, it's
Grace
12
period.
months if it's your primary
Yes.
business. So the business owner that's sitting here today, where it is part of him and his wife's primary business, it does give them a year to continue to sell it and to sort of, I guess, revamp their business.
Yeah,
Or
so
and then it
that was
also
the
gives
that was
6
the point I
months.
wanted to make.
Yeah, and it also gives 6 months to anybody who is, who's selling it as more of an accessory use.
Right. So it essentially gives a year grace period if additional information or stability in the regulation comes about within that. It's always something the board can reconsider at that time. But I think as it stands, I'm in favor of the ordinance. And again, it's not an overnight, you got to shut your doors tomorrow. There's time for this to be reconsidered if something happens in the next 12 months. Again, I just want to reiterate that the board, given that there is some question on this, I recognize that, but I don't think that it's, that the board is in a position to be the arbiter of whether or not it's this or that. I think that we have to stand with what the current regs are.
Very good. Thank you, Trustee Shaw. Anyone else?
I would,
Go ahead, Trustee Brady.
except for your erroneous opening statement, I think there are a lot of things were brought to light here this evening. And I would be in favor of tabling this and finding out more information doing more study, finding out what the professionals have to say about it, and so on and so forth.
Very good. Thank you, Trustee Brady. Trustee Mahoney, you got anything?
I would also consider tabling this and gathering a little more information. There's been a lot of good points here. Trustee Shaw brought up, regarding and really honing in and dialing in on our ordinances, right? There's multiple sides I think you could look at this entire situation. I don't think this is particularly a yes or no answer at this point in time. I think there's more due diligence on our side. I think there's a little more we can do digging in, and I think there's a little more communication we could go with the business owner as well. And it could go either way again, right? But I just think that this is a pretty heavy topic, in my opinion, to give a direct yes or no at this particular moment. There's a lot of there's a lot of different supplements and vitamins and everything that's out there on the shelves these days, right? Any one of us could buy any of these that are not approved by FDA. They're sold by random stores and nutrition centers, and are some may be good for you, some are really harmful for you, but at any age you could go grab any of these items off a shelf, right? Is it right or wrong? Who am I to say that at this particular time, right? But I would like to venture into a little deeper conversation and communication on this topic here.
Can I add one more thing?
Sure can, Trustee Sullivan.
Yeah, so, what my thoughts are, you have somebody who owns a business who is very knowledgeable of it. So so if we were to take away the product accessory portion, like, okay, so this is what we vote yes on, no more product accessories, because you're not gonna go into a liquor store and have somebody give you any kind of information regarding the product that you're buying. There's no, the guy selling you beer is not gonna know anything about the product, I don't think. So, but the businesses that derive from the primary main portion of the income, of their income from the product, that I think should stay. That's just my opinion. I don't know how we have to table this, look at the ordinance, have further discussion on it, because I don't like the accessory part of it, and I'm sure, gas stations, tobacco stores will probably not be happy with that, my thoughts on this, but I do think that this is something that we don't know enough about, even if we read everything, that was sent to us. There's also gonna be a counter, somebody's gonna say, there's gonna be pros and cons to everything regarding this. So I don't know if we have to, take a vote, or if we table.
So we would need a superseding motion to table to the June 4th meeting.
That's the next meeting, I believe?
Yeah.
I would maybe kick it one more meeting, if you guys want.
No, You're not gonna have- June 4th.
Just,
June 4th.
oh, you wanna go?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then how would we discuss the ordinance because we can't discuss it with each other? How do we discuss it with you? Do we discuss it with you, like how we would want to reword the ordinance if we're all in agreement of something?
Yeah, I mean, me or Tiffany can always reach out to trustees.
Okay.
And get information or what their thoughts are on it.
Okay.
Table it to what date?
Do we have to make the?
Yeah, we need a motion
So
to,
I will-
superseding motion to table to.
I will
June
make.
4th. No, you know what, I'm gonna say not at this moment. There will be public comment at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
So.
So I will make a superseding motion.
Oh, we got
So what meeting were you saying?
June
The next
4th.
next board meeting?
Okay, so the problem with, there's very compression of the Memorial Day weekend, there's not gonna be a lot of time to get information.
Can we go to the 18th instead, please?
Yeah, it's more time.
The June 4th meeting is huge.
Yeah.
Well, we can, my suggestion would be, do it for the June 4th meeting, and if it needs to be tabled again, then you can do a motion to table it again at that meeting.
That's a huge meeting right now. June 4th is. Just, am I correct, Laura? Isn't June 4th? Yes, it's a massive meeting.
I mean, there's a big rush on this? I mean, can't we just push it to the 18th? It gives everyone a little bit more time. Is that better? It's up to you.
Yeah.
As the clerk, what do you, you know the agenda already,
The
so.
18th.
The 18th?
Yes.
Is that okay?
That's fine. I mean, I don't, yeah.
Fine, I think 18 makes sense,
I think that's fine. I
as
mean,
opposed to 10 days from now.
if there's already a timetable built into the ordinance anyways, I don't see what the, right, yeah. No, I know, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so
All right.
Colleen made the motion, we need a second.
To June 18th?
To June 18th, so we're
Okay.
setting motion to move this.
To table it.
To table it
this
till
item
June
to June
18th.
18th.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Wait, who was it?
Mahoney.
Bill?
Mahoney.
Mahoney, okay.
Madam Clerk, would you call the roll on the superseding motion to table this item to June 18th?
Okay, I'm not repeating that. Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
No.
Trustee Shaw?
No.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Passes 4-2.
Very good. Motion carries. That item will be tabled to our June 18th meeting next month. So, in the essence of time, let's move on.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, could I
Go
just
ahead,
make a
Trustee
suggestion?
Shaw.
Because I realize we've all received some information from many of you. I recognize some of the names. Can we have a point of contact that if they have additional information to share, that it's funneled through a single point of contact? And then somebody can compile it so that we have something rational to work from. Right.
Sure.
So I don't know who we would want that to be, whether Dan or whomever. Somebody.
Lucky you.
Volunteered for a lot.
Lucky you, Dan. Lucky you.
It's just more efficient for the people involved as well as us, so.
And I think, the testimonials are great and all, but I don't think we need 100 emails with testimonials. I think it's more about I'm more interested in the
Facts.
the facts, exactly.
Right.
Thank you. My brain's right.
You just asked for 100 emails.
No,
So
I don't want
if you-
100 emails.
If you guys would like,
I don't have time for that.
Dan
Just fact
is our
based.
community development director. He can funnel it over to us. So,
I got a couple of cards here I can give for you guys.
Give it to one person.
thank you, Dan. All right, item number 20, Trustee Mueller.
I move we consider Resolution 2024-R-064 approving an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Tinley Park and Tinley Park Park District for an easement extension at 7350 175th Street. My favorite word, Moose Park,
I'll second that.
Tinley Park. Thanks, Bill.
I'll
Oh, I
second.
can? Oh, okay. All right, give it to Colleen.
I'll second.
Staff is requesting to enter an intergovernmental agreement with Tinley Park Park District for existing easement modification located at 7350 175th Street, Moose Park. This item was discussed at the Committee of the Whole held just prior to this meeting and is eligible for adoption tonight.
Okay.
Who cares?
Yeah,
We'll talk about it
yeah,
after.
yeah. Very good.
Sorry about that, technical thing.
Thank you, Trustee Mueller. Any questions regarding item number 20? There are none. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 20, Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries. Item number 21, Trustee Mueller.
I move we consider adopting Resolution 2024-R-061, approving the fleet vehicle purchase list in the not-to-exceed estimated amount of $651,500.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Trustee Mahoney.
Please consider approving the Public Works fleet purchase list, including various vehicles that were approved in the fiscal year 2025 budget, not to exceed estimate of $651,500. This item was discussed in the Committee of the Whole meeting held just prior to this meeting and is eligible for adoption tonight.
Any questions or comments?
Just one, John.
What happens to all the vehicles that we are replacing?
Each of them are case-by-case basis. Some of them get reassigned to other departments, some of them get reassigned to other positions, and then other ones that have exceeded their life for what we would like to see on the street for a village vehicle go to auction.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Good. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item number 21?
Roll call for item 21, Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good, motion carries. Item number 22, receive comments from staff. Hannah, Pat?
Just real quick, thank you
Chief?
for appointing Jack. He's a great asset to the police department. Appreciate the board and village leadership for that appointment.
Very good. Thank you, Chief. I agree with you.
Thanks, Chief.
Anything from this side?
A lot of construction work and development happening out there, so hopefully that's a good sign of progress. 159th and Harlem, the Grange, 191st Street, you can see a lot going on out there. So lots of projects happening and more coming up.
Very good. Thank you, Dan. Thanks to you and your team. Appreciate it. Anyone else from staff? There are none. Any, item number 23, receive comments from the board. Anyone from the board?
Nope.
What?
Well, I was going to wish Donna a happy birthday, but she's not here, so I won't. That would have been my comment.
Well, wish Mr. Brady a happy birthday. It's later this week, so happy birthday, Mr. Brady.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Mr. Brady.
Happy birthday, Bill.
How old are you gonna be?
As old as my tongue, but a little younger than my teeth.
I was waiting for a smart aleck answer, so.
Very good. Anything from this side? There are none? All right. Well, I got nothing either. Item number 24, receive comments from the public.
So we're going to reconvene back on June 18th. Are we available for public comment again?
Yes.
All right, because I've only had 2 days to prepare for this. I will bring an army here, so bring sleeping bags. There's going to be a lot of people. Mr. Brady, Trustee Brady, I did not mean any offense by that, just very passionate.
Well, you can be passionate, I understand that, but what you don't know about me is that I grew up in the 60s, never smoked marijuana, I don't drink. I am the only Irishman you know that doesn't drink.
I'm the only Polish guy you know that doesn't drink. I don't
There we
drink.
go. Then you and I should go out for a root beer float.
I don't smoke marijuana.
I never did either.
Yeah, it just makes me paranoid, where Kratom does not.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that normally looks down. When I'm on take Kratom, I can look at people in the eye. It just kind of breaks down those barriers in your brain, so.
But I show up at all the Chamber of Commerce's openings.
No, thank you, sir. All right, well, I just did not mean to make any offense.
Thank you.
And one more thing, if you guys do force us to close, the next time that bank gets robbed, we're not going to be able to provide the police the footage of the guy looking into our window before he robs a bank. So, yeah, he robbed the bank, but before he robbed the bank, he came over and looked inside of our window right at the camera, so we were able to give the police the picture of his face before he robbed that bank. So, I appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, you know what, I'll just mention, no matter how many people you bring, public comment is limited to 1 hour. So I just, we appreciate everyone's comments, and I just wanted to give you the forewarning.
Everyone's supportive of it, because I've only had 2 days.
Yeah.
So.
No, I understand, and I appreciate and listen to every one of your guys' comments, so, totally understand that, and,
And the more information, if you have it
Yeah, if you
to
can
us beforehand, the more they can actually see.
Yeah, in the essence of efficiency, if you can consolidate it and get it to Dan so he can disseminate it to the board, that would be great.
I think you seeing a bunch of people would also be helpful visually.
Sure. Very good. Thank you.
I won't take too long. I did just want to say, I thank you guys for tabling this topic and giving us an opportunity to give you more information. I am a tobacco store owner, so 40% of my business is from Kratom. I cannot speak on behalf of any other tobacco store other than my own, but just like this family business right here, I have done myself the education for my customers. All of my employees are educated as to every single strain, what is this for. We do the same thing where we ask about if they're on any other medications. If they are on opioids, we highly advise that they do not
take that product because the chemicals combined together will have a bad effect if that's what they chose to do. I do agree 100% that this should not be sold in gas stations where the people that are selling it are not knowledgeable and don't have the full facts of the products and do not care about their customers. A suggestion to what could possibly be a good way to kind of decipher that is maybe if working with the Kratom Association or something like this on some kind of certified training course or class that shows that this business, when it attended this, they are fully knowledgeable, they are educated, they have passed maybe a certain qualified certification that we could come up with or agree upon to be able to continue the product, I think would be a really good idea. And that was the last thing I wanted to bring up before next month's meeting.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
Bill, could I make another
Sure.
comment
Trustee Shaw,
real
go ahead.
quick? I appreciate you saying that, and I was actually going to make that suggestion that, for my part anyway, in terms of testimonial type thing about the value and the benefits, I would concede to that. That's clear just from the folks who are here, and if you brought in 100 more, I would concede that as well. So I don't think that adds a whole bunch of value. What I would want to make sure is between now and the next meeting, that I would ask that you give some thought to not simply having a larger force to say, no, and then it becomes a binary yes/no question. Let's work together to make to address, as you just said, how do we address some of the shortcomings that you might perceive in the draft ordinance, and come to some sort of common ground on it. Because if it's just simply a yes or no, that makes it a much tougher decision.
Very good.
And I actually think that might be all I have to say.
Very good. Thank you, Trustee Shaw. Very good. Excellent.
So I just want to say thank you for your decision tonight. I'm wearing my disc golf uniform because I was supposed to be out playing tonight. It's our Tuesday night league night. I was actually in the running for the top 10 spot, but it doesn't look like it. I'm not going to get the points for tonight, and there's just not enough sessions left, so whatever. But I do just want to say, though I'm not a resident of Tinley Park, I do quite frequently come to Tinley Park for multiple reasons. I frequent the TGS, the game store, because ever since I have stopped using marijuana, which is just stupid in my opinion and a waste of time and money. I now actually have more money to engage in my formerly done hobbies such as miniature modeling and painting and all that kind of stuff. So I also do frequently visit the Meadows disc golf course, which I do want to say, despite some of the negative reviews on some of our disc golf apps, it is actually a very nice course, and I do like that you guys have that option for us to be able to engage in recreation in your community, which is very nice. My only suggestion there would be perhaps a few more trash cans, because last time I was there I must have picked up at least 4 separate grocery shopping bags worth of people's discarded alcoholic beverage containers. Unfortunately, people engage in littering, but that's neither here nor there. So I just wanted to express that even though I'm not a resident, I do frequently come here. I was actually just in Tinley Park about 2 weeks ago for a client. Like I said earlier, I do animal education. Our business is called Incredible Bats, so we actually bring out our live animals and get people about an hour to interact with them, teach them about them so they actually learn something, as our USDA licensing requires we do there. So thanks for tabling the discussion in the very least, and I really hope that the information will show you that it is not necessary to ban and this regulation is just not needed. We are working on the state level to get regulations passed so that we will have a better system in place for the safety of consumers. I believe it's called the KCPA, the Kratom Consumer Protection Act. So it's unfortunate that Illinois hasn't acted on that yet, but several other states have. I believe at least 13, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe slightly more. And also, I would like to say that the fact that 6 states have banned it doesn't mean really anything in the grand scheme of things. That's a minority of states, first off, and they could very well be wrong. Currently there are states which completely violate our Second Amendment right, including Illinois, to not be able to openly carry firearms, which is our Second Amendment constitutionally guaranteed right. I should be able to have a firearm on me right now. I don't, because I'm not going to break the law and get myself in huge trouble. But we do have rights in this country. I have the right to free speech. I'm not going to use foul language, but if I wanted to, I could start dropping as many F-bombs as I wanted to right now. But that's not what I believe in. there, but I do believe in free speech. So of course, we can't have 100% absolute freedom. That would be anarchy and chaos. There are things that are obviously morally unacceptable, such as murder, rape, theft, and all those things of that nature. But if people want to throw their own lives away doing drugs, quite frankly, that's their choice. That's their decision. We can't play nanny to an entire country of 350 million plus people. That's just a ludicrous notion there. So again, just thanks for your time tonight and listening to all of us and considering the data. And I just really hope that the data will show you that there is not a risk to the community for us to be able to use this supplement, this natural plant that grows in the Southeast Asia region, for us to help manage our medical conditions. So thank you again.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, trustee Bray. Is there a second?
I will second.
Thank you, trustee Sullivan. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll for adjournment?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. We are adjourned at 8:18 PM.
Okay.